set the record straight. You and me, we ain't nothing alike. Let's set the record straight. Those words you say, they hold no weight, they like. Let's set the record straight. You'll never break the...
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Diecast review. Today we have Ryan Blaney in the number 12 BodyArmor 2023 Diecast Ford Mustang thing. I almost said Fusion. I know, but I didn't, and that's all that matters. So, this was actually a little bit of a secret paint scheme. Not even a little bit. It was a pretty big surprise, basically. They held off on this paint scheme for quite some time, up until the Coke 600, which this was ran and won at, by the way. So that was even better. They did all the marketing correct, and it was fantastic. They waited until the weekend of, they revealed it, and it won the race. Fantastic. Now, of course, because of that, Lionel wasn't really able to make like the actual like specifics of the car for the Coke 600, so this does not have any of like the banners or anything, or like the special tires and none of that, special decals. This is a clean version. So if you got a stop motion series, you don't even have to use this in a patriotic race or just a Coke 600 in general. It can just be a standard paint scheme, and if you want, you can be the primary paint scheme, which honestly, if you did that, I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, so this is a really awesome paint scheme. It was really amazing how they kind of like kept it a secret for so long. And again, the icing on the cake, it won the race. So if we're offered, which I think we were offered, if we get enough pre-orders in order to get that diecast made, which I believe it will be, we'll have two variants of this car on the 1/64 scale. Of course, we'll have the race win of the Coke 600, and then we'll have the standard of the non-Coke 600 paint scheme, or type of paint scheme, I guess. But yeah, a very cool car. I believe the name is like Sports Drinks Camo, or just like Sports Drink something. I'm not really too sure. What does the tag say? BodyArmor Camo. Okay, so it's just BodyArmor in general, but the scheme is Camo, so they just did BodyArmor Camo. Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, again, awesome paint scheme. It was one I thought about. Now, surprisingly, I thought about getting in the 124, but not the standard scheme, the race win, because that thing looked gorgeous. But as much as I would love that, probably can't do it, so we're just going to stick with the 164 for now. So that being said, let's go ahead and get this diecast out of the box and take a closer look at this beautiful paint scheme. Here's the diecast out of the box, and again, man, this thing looks gorgeous. Now, the only thing I would change straight out the gate is the rims. It would either be black or red. Maybe red just kind of make it pop a little more, but I think black would really go a little bit better. Now, one thing I love about this paint scheme, the striping. I love the striping, and I don't know why, but I do. So, of course, it goes from the hood all the way to the deck lid, and it kind of comes over on the side, down the driver door to the side skirt, or that exhaust area. And if you notice, the roof is solid red. It's not that stripe that kind of continues on, which normally I wouldn't like that, but I think it looks good, and I think it's acceptable, because I'm thinking of it as, if it's the camo rooftop with that stripe in the center, I don't know how I would like it. I don't even know if I would like it at all. But just seeing it the way it is, I think it looks really nice. Now, it may be because it hasn't had time to grow on me into a bad way or a good way, because they just released a paint scheme the weekend of the race. So, oh, okay, my cat's moving my table. Anyway, that happens a lot, by the way. You might hear me say that several times throughout the video. But yeah, so I like how it's designed, and it almost reminds me, or not even almost, it does remind me of Christmas. You got the lines and the stripes, and it looks like almost a bow, like a bow tie striping over that green, and that green and red just reminds me of Christmas. So that's just, I don't know, I guess that makes it a little better. But yeah, it's just, overall, it's a really awesome paint scheme. And I believe the story behind it is a little sweeter. So, yeah, we're going to take a look at this fantastic race car, even like at this angle. I've been trying to do this more, where you get like a side angle as if it's on like a banking part of the track. It looks good. At this angle, in almost like a turn, it looks really cool. So, yeah, I really like the paint scheme. I like the red too. not like just how it's designed, but the shade of red they use, it's not bright, it's not super dark, it's kind of like in the middle, and it matches kind of the tone of the green and just the camo in general with the flatness of the paint and just kind of how it looks overall. Now this is like a matte finish. It's not super glossy, it's like a in-between of matte and gloss. I don't really know what you would call that, but it's kind of like an in-between, so it's not a rough feel, but you can feel that it's still kind of flat. So it's a very awesome looking just finish. Very cool. BodyArmor sports drink right there, and you got BodyArmor on that stripe, which again, I think it looks really good. You got the hood vents there, you got all the camo behind there, Pennzoil, then you got the Ford. Here on the banner, of course, this does not have the Coke 600 banner because it was just released literally the weekend of the race. So Lionel couldn't get everything proper, you know, for obvious reasons, so we're not going to diss Lionel for that. Ford and Blaney right there on the name banner. Then you got the 12 snap-on, and then of course you got the white outline with the black outline too. I think it looks really good. Snap-on right there. Now if the snap-on had a black outline like the 12 does, it would look a little better. Got the Blaney banner on the back. Nothing on the deck lid, just the stripe. Here on the back of the car, we got proud supporter of, what is that, Operation Home something? I can't really read that. It's a little too, can I zoom in on that? Or is that going to get blurry? No. Oh, hold on. What is that? Operation, I still can't even read it. Man. It's close. I don't know if anybody can make that out, but it's, I'm like 70% of the way of reading that, so I can't really tell what it is fully. So we got a red spoiler, BodyArmor, and we got a different Ford license plate back here. It's black instead of white, which is interesting. I got the camo all over the back here. Got the number 12, and of course you got the fake exhaust for whatever reason. A Wabash, Menards. Isn't Wabash supposed to be like that? Something else with it, like some type of shape or something, or like the state. I don't really, not the state, I'm sorry, the United States, or whatever it's supposed to be behind it. I'm not too sure, but I know it's not just a little square. This is Wabash. It's supposed to be a little different, so it's interesting how they changed that. Dex Imaging, Advanced Auto Parts, Ryan Blaney, no winner sticker, because, again, this is a pre-race. BodyArmor Sports Drink, Cap Gemini, something like that, I don't know, Worth, BodyArmor. Got the 12 right there with that, not a camo background, but it's a, like that same tint of green, that way you can just kind of see the number a little better. And okay, so imagine like how cool it would be if they had the 12 instead of the stripe. Of course the stripe would be a little thicker, but just saying, if we didn't have the number scooted up like that, we could easily have the 12 in the center and have the red background as the, or background of the 12, and then of course you can have the stripe going through the 12 and the 12 like on that. I think that'd look really cool, but I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Let's see, NASCAR Cup Series 75th anniversary for NASCAR. Got Goodyear in white. I can see why they'd pick white, but I would still go with black just to kind of be safe. I got the Goodyear tires. Of course, you got Sunoco. Then moving on to the front end of this car, we got the little pony sitting there. Then of course you got the 12 Penske, all that fun. Oh no, Penske's not even there. What? They removed it. I was going to say all that fun stuff, but there's no fun stuff. They removed Penske. Is that common? Do they not have the logos of the teams over there anymore? Oh, that's kind of interesting. But either way, this thing is nice. Now, what I would probably have done a red splitter just to kind of match it. I think that would look really nice. But yeah, either way, that would be the only two things I'd change about this car is the rim color and the splitter. Now maybe, just maybe, a red splitter and red rims are a little too much, but I think if we left a black splitter with red rims, that would be okay. Black splitter with black rims, that would be okay. Or a red splitter with black rims, I feel like that'd be almost the perfect combination. But I'm not a paint scheme designer by any means. I'm just sitting here and review the paint schemes. But yeah, so it's still a pretty cool car. Now I don't know, this is kind of a weird situation. I don't know if it's going to be like overproduced. I don't know if it's going to be rare by any means, but it's, I don't know, it's like, because they waited the last second to reveal it, so not a whole lot of people, or not really anybody, knew about it. And I don't know if that was like created more sales because nobody knew until last second, then they all kind of took it at once. And where they're probably making the race win for the 164, I don't know if they're going to make as many as they would if they were to remake any or restock with any. I'm not really too sure, but I don't know. That race win either makes this super common or super rare, because I know a lot of the times if you get a standard paint scheme and then the race one paint scheme, the race one paint scheme is more produced than the standard, and the standard normally goes rare before the race win. But of course, that's in some scenarios, in some cases. That's not always the case, because there's plenty of race wins that go super rare versus the standard paint scheme. So I don't know, it really could go either way. But nonetheless, I give this a very solid 9 out of 10 for a rating. Very cool car, very nice. The background's awesome. Again, it's going to be a race win here soon. I would only change the color of the splitter and rims a little bit, but taking that out, this thing looks pretty awesome. So with that being said, I do believe that will be all for this diecast review. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.